in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and mute it.
All right, welcome everybody. We are here for the TDC Today Show USA, where we welcome people from all around the world, and we are all about showcasing abilities. We are television by and with people with disabilities and veterans. And so again, my name is Kurt Roskopf. I'll be your ambassador today and your ongoing host for this, your TDC Today Show USA. And we've got a couple of guests here, and we have a little bit of a Zoom gallery audience going. So all sorts of good stuff happening as we are cranking away in our show business. So in my work, I got connected to this in my interest in disability advocacy. So everything we're talking about today, our concerted effort is to figure out how we're doing and what we're talking about today. How well is that available for all people with disabilities around the world? And so we're going to dive in with Kiala here from the Hawaiian Islands. And so we're going to tap from her a little bit. The possibilities here today are brought forth through a little networking experience called the Happy Neighborhood Project, spreading happiness around the world. And so we are bringing professionals in here to share a little bit of who they are, what they do, products, services, and so forth. So through Kiala, we're going to be able to talk a little bit about finance and how Kiala is passionate about helping that aspect of life, and to be able to take care of things in life by a little bit of planning, and to not let all these things fall into surprises. I know in stuff that I've done in the financial world, talking our wheelhouse has always been about emergency funds and stuff like that. So all sorts of stuff comes up. And then when we talk about finances, again, on my side of things, out and around, I try to talk about special needs trusts and ABLE accounts and these particular little considerations in the disability community and here in America with our Americans with Disabilities. But let's get started with the work that Kiala just does. So Kiala, would you like to share with our audience a little bit about yourself and a little insight on the company you connected with and what brought you into the financial world and what exactly is available through the services you provide?
Thank you, Kurt, for that. And of course, if it wasn't for Happy Neighborhood Project, I would not be here. Prior to HMP, I was a special education teacher at a Hawaiian immersion school. So I basically help tailor the IEPs for the students so they can learn. And they weren't the behavior, but they just had the mentality of not wanting to do the work. And that's where I came from. But I felt there was a bigger calling. I felt as if our community needed to know more about financial literacy. I then got started with PHP Agency, which is now an integrity marketing group. And it gives me the opportunity to get into our community and share about what I do. So basically, I'm a licensed life insurance agency, building my agency with my husband, Better Financial Tips. And our goal is to just get out there and share the good news and change that labeling of the life insurance agent. Now, just recently, there's a video going around on Inside Edition, a 72-year-old grandmother working into her retirement years. I'm sure we don't want that to happen. I'm sure we want to enjoy our retirement years instead of finding other sources of income. You know, basically, we plan now. You're young, you're fairly healthy, and you go into your retirement years knowing that you did all you can during the working years. With that being said, we do offer term, and that's, you know, as you most would know, you get that offered by your job, you get that for a limited amount of time. It is fairly affordable. Most will get that when they're starting off, or they'll get that for their mortgage to ensure that if anything happens, their family is covered. We do offer permanent policies, which is an IUL or Index Universal Life and or Whole Life. So basically what that is it'll never expire until you expire. Gives you that opportunity to ensure that you are setting this foundation and you're possibly setting that foundation to leave a legacy, not debt. The other one that we also offer that you can only get through a licensed life insurance agent is the annuity. Basically, an annuity is taking that 401k, which is on the stock market, and moving it over to the index line. You get the best of both worlds, safety and potential of growth. And that's what we try to educate. And it's for everyone. Our targeted market is our veterans. They serve, and some walk away from serving with PTSD, and now in their retirement years they have nothing because they didn't have it protected, they didn't have it growing, they didn't have it working for them. And that's where myself and my husband come in, and we want to make sure that, hey, all those years of hard work, it's protected, it's growing, and there's a possibility that your money will continue to live if God calls you home sooner. So that's kind of what we do in a nutshell. Kurt, thank you. Back to you.
All right, sounds good. I want to bring Diane Rossow in here. Diane brings us health, where with the word wealth, we can kind of take that H of health and slap it in the middle of wealth, and you got wealth with an unusual spelling, WHEALTH, wealth. So I like really stirring the pot and mixing these elements of self-care in terms of, these values in our life. When we think of planning our future and, really being able to do what we want to do, to have the health of our body and the wealth of resources, financially for sure, that puts together a nice sense of security and stability in our life. So Diana, I want you to come in here and speak to this a little bit. In our last episode, I made a remark, a purposeful remark, because I really emphasized the general thing that should be pretty universal in our minds, all the time. But it really leads us into here because if you remember our last episode, I mentioned from my standpoint where I sit, I'm like, where are we with access for the product and which your company brings forward and the distribution into the homes of people with disabilities? And a lot of times we learn there's this pervasive thing of a financial barrier. So when we have something to distribute and we look like, okay, the person should be ready to purchase, but that person's thinking I can't afford it. Now that's really where we start to think about what we do, and it hits us in the heart, doesn't it? That when somebody doesn't have access to a product because of the financial barrier. Diane, what are your thoughts on this? Where do you see this in the work you do, where you want to help somebody, but obviously money is the issue?
That's a problem. It is a problem. But oftentimes, as real as the problem is, it's also a mindset. And when you are sick, it's very difficult. You lose hope. You stop believing in trying to think. You might have tried for decades many things and wasted a lot of money trying, and you just don't have that heart to do it again. But the bottom line is this: where there is a will, there is a way. And when people have been sick for decades, we have to appeal to the what if. What if this is the one thing you've been waiting for? What if there is a divine hand in this that brought this to you? Oftentimes, Kurt, if I remind people how we met, they're like, yeah, that should never have happened. Well, does that not give you a clue? So let's look at what we can do to help. Are there people around you that can help support you? Are there things in your diet, a latte every day, that we can get rid of? Are there, items laying around the house that are valuable that we could put on, put up for sale. I mean, where there is a will, there is a way. I want to live to be 100. I want to be toasting at 100 with a champagne glass and a Sia. And I think that I'm not that unusual. So I am very big. There you go. A St. Patrick's Day would work too. I just don't think that we can stop at I can't afford it, because what can't you afford? To get better? You can't afford to get better? That's what you're telling me. You can't afford to get better. So I am very sensitive about my walk with people in their health. It's a very sensitive issue. But when you cross that line into their money, into their pocketbooks, and into how they got where they are, it's even more sensitive, Kurt. So I don't touch this lightly. I really don't. And I know it's hard because it's a psychological, but it's also there's no quarters in the piggy bank. There aren't any. And I haven't paid my my light bill for 3 months. I've been there. I've heard it. But there's a way.
That's for sure. When you say there's a will, there's a way, a little bit of getting a sidetracked a little bit, but the word will is interesting. There's a will, there's a way. And Callie, you bring up about life insurance, and we think of that side of life and then a will. We actually were in a conversation earlier today with our organization where someone was talking about wills. So there's all sorts of things that we can take into consideration. But, right now there's, a few professionals here in the spotlight stage here. And, in what we do to create income for ourselves, the income side of things is a lot of times an empowerment. So helping people understand how to accumulate income through what we do is very powerful. So Kiala, how does that work with your company and your wheelhouse? Because obviously somebody did that for you. Somebody kind of gave you the inclination like, hey, you can make some money by helping people in the life insurance side of things, or like on the investment side of things. And, so how does that tend to happen, in your conversations, networking and so forth, to welcome people aboard to the team? And then you feel that satisfaction in finances, that now they're getting paid for some things, and that's helping the financial report that they have personally.
So for me, it's always the mission over the commission. I always put the clients first. I've always put the need for them to set that foundation, because I know that if I deal with this first, the pay will come. And fortunate enough, I'm with PHP agency. They pay us a year in advance. So what does that mean? I am able to go out there, regardless if they get a term, a permanent, or an annuity. I don't get paid on how many people I bring into the business. I get paid based on the outcome and if the client is happy. So that is my biggest drive, is to continue to go out there, because I know financial literacy is not a dinner table topic. It's not the most forefront conversation that we want to be talking about. It is something that we tend to shy away. And if I can just touch 1% of the population to start talking about it. In my house, finances is the first thing we start talking about with my 2 children at the ages of 3 and 12. Yeah. So it's something that we do, and getting them comfortable at a younger age to know that speaking of money is not taboo, but speaking of money will ensure us to plan properly and to make sure that we're not just overspending, and we're calculating all of our risks and future plans, if you will.
Very good. Oh. Sorry about that, folks. I'm hitting the button on the wrong device, and now I got it back. Sorry about that, everybody. So, Diane, I want to bring you in again for a little insight with your company and the hard work you're doing every day, helping people. And then when you're sitting with people, that opportunity to say, hey, maybe you're looking at somebody that wants to try their hand at doing what I'm doing. How do you bridge that you really get somebody into appreciating your product, your company, and then they become somebody that can review that really well and their own personal lived experience with the product and the company, and then they keep going on that trajectory, and then now they're helping the next person, and then again that income source. So what is that in your wheelhouse with your team and your journey?
I think my own story actually will answer that whole line of questions that you had. We really believe at ASEA that, you need to be a product of the product. You need to have your own story and have, the opportunity. Even if your story is, I'm not sick and I don't have any issues and I'm not on any medications, but I started using this product as a preventative. Well, wow, we applaud you, and that's amazing. And they still sleep better, run farther and faster, and have more energy, etc. For me, I mean, the company itself made the barrier to entry to be an associate, and being an associate means getting paid for your services. And I'm telling you, it's kind of utopia to get paid for helping people get better, right? It's like amazing for me to be in a wheelhouse where the every dollar that I get, someone has a smile on their face, and it's just a joy. But $40 is the barrier to entry to be an associate. And that $40 is just an administrative one-time fee, not an annual, a one-time fee. I didn't think I would ever share this, Kurt, but for some reason, I paid the $40 right out of the gate. I'm like, whatever, I'll just pay it because I liked this now. And within 5 days, I was telling people, and within 20 days, I had 7 people signed up. So the only time I ever paid for my own product was in the first month, because by the second month I had enough people, just customers. It's not, I wasn't building a team. I wanted to retire. I didn't think I was going to keep working, but this is retirement is we get to work at the things we choose, and I choose to do this. So that to me, being a product to the product, the company making it such a low barrier of entry, $40, one-time fee, to get in, to be able to receive dollars for your work, and then having, 6, 7, 8 people on minimal product pay for your own, gives you what you need to move forward and start making money. So we're actually in a time of the company right now where I'm working with a group of global entrepreneurs around the world that are on a mission to make as many thousandaires as possible. Thousandaires, that's an additional $1,000 a month, bring home to your family. And we can show you how to do that. And we just really believe that we're in a time, Kurt, where that's got to be part of our mission, because people are hurting physically, they're hurting because of their diagnoses, etc. But they're also hurting financially. The dollar doesn't take you very far these days, and it's not going to get any better. So that's how I say, join the ASEA Global team. You will be your own boss, but you will not be alone in that. And we're there to support and help. Big passion.
Sounds good. Thank you, Diane. So, Kiala, I want to give you a chance here to help me out. I want to be able to help our audience know that in terms of their future planning and starting now to, get that good way to have life insurance in the right part of their financial profile. Because the sooner you get started on that, it always works out better for us financially, the sooner we get started. But it's never too late to find that right place for your life insurance policy. I know that because I've done it before in my past. And then as far as being a financial service provider, and then as far as investing in terms of we work hard, we do what we have, and when we're fortunate to have a little something that we can put into the marketplace, and the old thing of let money work a little bit for you, because we work hard to work for money, and to do all that. And then if somebody is trying to entertain, like how do they get their career, their income generating activities where they need them? Maybe your company has something for them in the professional capacity. So if people are kind of thinking like you, Kiala, could help them in these ways, maybe anything else they're picking up on our visit with you today, how do they best reach you? How do they best do their own Googles or looking up things with your company, the products? What takeaways can you leave for our audience today, Kiala? Take it away.
So we do one-on-one Zooms. We do tailor your needs to your families. We want to make sure that you're properly insured and you're not over-insured. Some people pay too much for insurance that they don't need, but you can get a hold of me, 808-430-9478, and or my email, kialap.bft@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to set you up with a one-on-one so you can see what we do exactly, as well as the numbers that fits your needs and your budget.
Awesome. There you go. It's almost like I'm using sound effects, but I'm just doing that DUE thing. It's dumb user error. I'm sorry. But in any case, Diane, we're going to let you have a chance. I also want our audience to know that if they are kind of connecting to something with you, how do they, when we're done with the show, reach you and say, hey, Diane, I want to talk more, or I want to hear more? How do they do it?
Bet. Happy to have you text or call at 206-419-9447. That's 206-419-9447. I can also be reached by email, Diane Rossow. You can find me at LinkedIn by Diane Rossow as well. Diane Rossow at Proton Mail. Proton, Proton, mail.com. Diane Rossow at protonmail.com. The last thing I'd like to leave your audience with, Kurt, is discoverredux.com. Discoverredux.com. The website, the first page you land on, will have a 17-minute overview of how these amazing molecules work. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for joining our work here, Diane. And as far as my calling card, again, phone number and to call and text me is 262-372-1754. Email Kurt, K-U-R-T, at projectdieHard.org. Project Die Hard, our nonprofit fiscal agent for our project work here in the USA. And with our show, continuing to welcome people from all around the world. And so from here at the Disability Channel, we also encourage you to get on our website to keep up with our other shows and other work at the Disability Channel, thedisabilitychannel.ca. So with that, I'll bid you a farewell and hoping to appeal to you to tune in again to our next show and shows of this, your TDC Today Show USA. Bye for now.
Recording stopped.
All right. So so check in. Diane, Kiala, are you inclined to stay, or are you looking to end it here? You're staying, Kiala?